Hi, my angels. In today's video, the camera quality is going to suck, apparently, because I'm not turning the camera on. I'm having issues with my laptop where I can't get it to connect to Wi-Fi, so I can't edit my, camera videos. But anyways, I'm going to explain to you guys why I haven't been on. I'm gonna take these off so you guys can actually see my eyes. That didn't help, but I'm going to be explaining to you why I haven't been posting for the past couple weeks. And no, it has nothing to do with my laptop. I'm hoping I will get it fixed, and this Saturday will be the normal scheduling videos that are fun and fashion and food and lifestyle and just me. But basically, as a lot of you know, the start to 2020 for most people is pretty normal. My 2020 kind of started off with a rough patch and just all went downhill from there. 2021 is not much different. So as you probably know, I've been dating this guy for a while. It'll officially be 4 years on February 14th, Valentine's Day. Technically, we're like sort of dating before that. We're like not official, but we weren't not dating. It's confusing. We picked Valentine's Day because I was like, then you only have to remember one day, and I only have to remember one day, and it's easy. So, yeah, it's been over 4 years. But anyways, he had a dog. I was really, really close to the dog. He actually said that the dog was like, and that was like 4 years, almost became more my dog than his dog. Well, okay, actually, like, it was his family's dog, but like, you know what I mean? He was like, even he said like I was closer to the dog than he was, and like I loved this dog, and she unfortunately passed away. I was actually in the middle of filming the video, and then I got a text from him basically saying like that she was at the vet and that it wasn't good and everything. And so I basically like dropped filming the 1 week and not literally ran there. I like grabbed a mask and took a cab. But yeah, I basically dropped everything, ran there, tried to like get there on time, but it was too late. So that was, I think, Thursday or Friday I found that out, for like the first week of January. So then Saturday, like no posting was happening because I was too sad. I think I spent like that whole weekend crying. It was not good. And then this weekend, I've actually had this also. If you're uncomfortable hearing about like health things and like women's health specifically, then I guess come back Saturday for a regular scheduled programming. But I've been having this health problem on and off for like years. It got really bad in 2020, and I don't, this shouldn't be embarrassing to admit, but it kind of is. I literally had a period from December 2019 until December 2020. Entire year. It was about 4 or 5 days before December 22nd, and I remember that because I remember thinking to myself, okay, sweet, if I'm lucky, this will be done by my birthday, or I'll be like on the last day and it won't be that bad. And then 300, it might have been okay. I think it might have been like a week before the next time. So it was like 7 or 8 days before. So it was like 362 days straight. Yeah. I think that's stuff of literal nightmares. It was horrible. So I live in Ontario and this thing called telehealth, and after about like, I think the 6th month of it happening, finally I called telehealth, and I was like, okay, like, what is happening? This was like the middle of 2020, and I was like, what is happening? I don't understand, like, what's going on? And so they're like, yeah, get to the hospital right away. And I kid you not, now I am a doctor at this point, and I mean, like, no, nothing bad to like male doctors, honestly. Like, I've had doctors turn around before and be like, are you uncomfortable with me being a male? And I'm like, no, you literally go to the same schooling as a female, like, I don't care, like, it's fine. So like, I'm not saying anything about that, but it just, yeah. So this guy literally turns around to me and goes, oh, well, you know, it could be because of your weight, right? So you mean to tell me that it's been 6 months at this point? It's been 6 months of this. and your only answer is that it's because I'm fat. That's your answer? You're not even going to like give me blood work or scan or like ask about other symptoms? You're just gonna go straight in with like the weight? Really? And I was like, okay, but I've had like issues with similar to this or like in this area since like, and for those of you guys who've like watched my undiagnosed eating disorder video, which you, if you haven't yet, you should go check out. I was fairly thin, and I was never like it was never like super small. Like I could hide the fact I had an eating disorder really well. You would not have known if you had looked at me, which is not a fair assessment at all. But it's true. Like you would not have. I was not the stereotypical body part, body type for somebody with an eating disorder. But I was quite thin, and even then I had the issue. So I was like, this is something that's like, yeah, it's gotten worse this year. But like, I don't think this has anything to do with my weight. Or even if my weight does make it worse, there's an underlying issue here. So like, can we deal with that? And basically just offered to like write me a prescription to like stop the bleeding. He's like, hey, cause blood clots and kill you. And I was like, so your answer is, oh, it's because you're fat, but here's a pill that can kill you. Pardon? So I left feeling completely undefeated. Basically went for the next 6 months just being like, well, I guess this is my life now. But they I remember I got like my family doctor, and this doctor actually referred me to a gynecologist. So the gynecologist was supposed to call me in September, and I remember they said they were going to call around, I think it was like 1 p.m. The person was like, they call you from like 12:50 to 1:30. Like it's kind of depends on how long like the appointment before you runs. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I had scheduled something else for like 3 or 4 that day because I was not expecting this phone conversation to be 4 hours or even 3 hours or 2.5 hours. And no, it was like not something that I could unschedule. Reschedule, that's what I'm looking for. So anyway, so finally around I think 2 p.m. in September, I think it was September 1st, I called the gynecologist's office, and the receptionist was so rude. I remember calling and I was like, hi, I'm so sorry to bother you. It's Sarah Richardson calling. It's 2 p.m. I was told that I had a phone consult with the doctor around 1 o'clock. I was supposed to come into the office up until about 24 hours ago. So just wanted to double check and make sure that I wasn't still supposed to come into the office, and somehow things got lost in translation. If you could call me back and just let me know, that's great. And if not, like that's totally fine. Just kind of let me know what's going on. So then they called me back and they're like, well, the doctor will call you when she calls you. And I was like, okay, no, that's completely fair. So it is supposed to be a phone consult. Lady was like, yeah, don't you know that? I was like, okay, I wasn't home when you guys called last night. This actually isn't even my like number anymore that I use. I use a different number. So no, I was not around when you called. So, and the person who like answered the phone wasn't even home when you called. So I got the message from somebody who got it off of an answering machine. Like totally possible that things could have been lost in translation. Maybe it was actually supposed to be like, hey, call us before you come in, not we'll call you, or I don't know. Just I was like, I don't know what's happening. And they're like, well, the doctor's very busy. And I was like, no, that's completely fair. I just was just curious. Like that's totally fine. Like take your time. And if you need to reschedule, just let me know. I'm totally good to reschedule. And they're like, she kept being rude. And I was like, okay. So then finally, I think it was about 3:30, and I called again because, like I said, my original appointment was supposed to be for 1 o'clock. Yeah, and then it was like 3:30 at this point, so it's been about 3.5 hours. Or even if she was to call at like up to 1:30, like it's been 2 hours. Like it's been long enough. And so I called back and I was like, hi, I'm just wondering because I have something scheduled for 4, and so I have to leave. And so is there any way I can reschedule with the gynecologist? I'm really sorry, but I was told that I'd be called between 12:50 and 1:30. I had no idea that I was supposed to like stay by the phone all day. I just want to reschedule. Let me know, and I can make sure that I have that entire day free. And of course, again, lady was so rude. And she's like, well, it's not up to me to be able to schedule the rest of your day. I was like, no, I'm saying I'll schedule the rest of my day. I just need you to communicate with me when the doctor will talk to me. So then finally, they didn't. She hung up, and then I called my doctor, and I was like, hey, so is there any way you can send me to like a different gynecologist? And I was supposed to go to a different one who was supposed to be in January. So then I went to the hospital the other day. Oh yeah, sorry, I totally just skipped that part. I started getting this like really bad like abdomen hip pain. I don't really know how to describe it. And it had been lasting for like a week, and it was starting to get like really bad to the point where like I couldn't function with it. So then again I called telehealth, and I was like, hey, this is on the left side and your appendix is apparently on the right. So it's not appendicitis, but I don't know what it is. Like, what should I do? And they're like, well, if you had any other symptoms. And I was like, I don't know if it connects, but like all this has happened last year, blah blah blah. And they're like, well, it sounds like you have cysts on your ovaries and like one burst. You need to get to the hospital right away. And now I have a lot of symptoms of having cysts on my ovaries. So I go to the doctor, I explain all my symptoms. They say the exact same thing. They're like, you know what, it sounds like you have cysts on your ovaries. One of them might have burst. We'll do an ultrasound to double check. We'll see what's going on. So of course I did an ultrasound. And again, if you're uncomfortable with women's bodies and talking about health things, thank you for watching up to this point, but I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. But they did an internal ultrasound. That was an experience. I also had to do like a bunch of testing. They did a blood test. They did a urine sample. They did a whole bunch of things. Turns out I don't have cysts on my ovaries. And now, don't get me wrong, I'm very, very happy that I don't. I do not wish that on anybody. They sound like they suck. And the fact that I've had multiple doctors say to me, and multiple people have had them before, multiple different like experiences of, it sounds like I have most of the symptoms of them. They suck. Like, you know what I mean? But it's a little bit upsetting that that wasn't what it was, because if that's what it was, then I would have an answer and I would be able to do something. I don't know whether or not they can really be cured or fixed. I know some people say surgery, some people say medication, some people say diet and exercise, some people say like a bunch of different things. I don't really know. I was hoping to get diagnosed and then talk to my doctor about what to do with them, but that would at least be an answer. I would at least be able to have something to do or have a reason for the symptoms. Like, even if it couldn't be fixed, I'd at least be able to know how to handle it. So then that was really upsetting to find out I didn't. That sounds horrible. Like, again, I don't wish that I had it. I wish I had an answer, and that seemed like the easiest answer. So of course the doctor turns around and goes, so you're going to have to request blood work from your like family doctor or your general doctor, or your whatever you guys want to call it. Like, you're going to have to request blood work from him to get like your hormones tested and a whole bunch of other things so we can find out what's going on. And then I explained, how I was supposed to have a gynecologist appointment. And I was like, I have no idea what day it's supposed to be. And whenever I try to call them, like, oh yeah, that's the other thing. At one point, the gynecologist's office just stopped answering me, and I was like, guys. So I was like, I have no idea when my appointment is. I know it's supposed to be like January 20-something. I remember the number 3 being involved, but I don't know if it's like 23rd or if it's like 20th at like 3 p.m. or like what. So the doctor's like, oh, that's fine. Like, just, I can search it in our systems. What's the doctor's name? And I had no idea that they were connected, but apparently they are. So I told him, and he searched up, and he's like, I have no, he's like, there's nothing in my systems about you having an appointment with this doctor, but I do have one for your neuro-ophthalmologist. And I was like, the eyes and brain, they're kind of a different part of the body. my neuro-ophthalmologist, she's wonderful and she's very good at her job, but I don't think she's gonna be able to help me with that problem. Same with, I'm sure, like, the gynecologist, even though her receptionist is very rude. Gynecologist is probably amazing at her job, would not be able to do the job as the neuro-ophthalmologist. Well, that doesn't really help me, but thank you for reminding me of that appointment. He was like, yeah, no, like, there's no sign here that you ever had an appointment with them. And I was like, I've been waiting since September, which means that if I want to get an appointment with a gynecologist, I'd have to wait like another 6 months on the waiting list. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I know that it's not cis, so I just go to my doctor and get blood testing done. I spent the weekend in and out of the hospital, basically getting a bunch of tests done, and I still don't know what's wrong with me. I've had my thyroid checked. I've been tested for diabetes. I at one point went through and they took, like, in 2020, I think, or was it 2019? I don't actually remember. But it was either like the end of 2019 or the very beginning of 2020. But I went and they took like a lot of blood from me. I remember I went and asked like the receptionist at my doctor's office, like, hey, did my blood work come back yet? Is it good? Like, was everything okay? And the doctor, I don't know, actually might have been a nurse. I don't know if she's a nurse or receptionist, but the lady was like, oh yeah, like, basically, your blood work came back and it's absolutely phenomenal. Like, it's some of the best blood work we've had. And I was like, so I don't have diabetes or thyroid issues or A, B, C, D, E, F, or G? And she's like, no, you don't have any of them. And I was like, so what's wrong with me then? Yeah, I'm gonna have to go give more blood to do more testing to find out more things. Yeah, there was at one point when I was in the hospital, and they basically gave me a cup for the urine sample, and that was not fun. And people do not know how to wear their masks, even in a hospital. You'd think they would. Because remember at one point there was a man in a wheelchair, and this nurse was like pushing him, and then she kind of like was pushing him for a little while, and then she kind of stops. She looks down and she goes, "Where's your mask, sir?" And he goes, "I flushed it down the toilet." And she's like, "Sir, please just give me one moment." And then she walked away, and I swear, I think that poor nurse was crying, and I was like, I kind of wanted to go give her a hug, but I also wanted to stay 2 feet away, and I was like, I'm so sorry. And she comes back with the mask and goes, "Sir, please just wear it. Please just wear it in here. Please." And she was like basically begging the man to wear his mask, and I was like, you deserve a cookie. You deserve 2 cookies. You deserve a package of Oreos and like a glass of milk. I don't know why an entire package, but like, she deserves the entire package. I felt so bad for her because you could just tell how tired she was and how much she's like, I don't want to go home. Like, you could just, yeah. But that's kind of been the start to my 2021, which is basically more unanswered health questions, which again, I guess the good thing is I don't have cis, but like, still, also the whole like dog passing away thing, and then there's this second lockdown, which is just confusing and stressful, and just, you guys all know how it is. Like, a lot of people are getting depressed, and sorry, yeah, it is not fun at all. My room is a disorganized mess for me trying to like reorganize everything I got for Christmas, and I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. So I'm going to try and like get past all this. I'll keep you guys updated on like everything that's happening as much as I like can or want to share. Yeah. But that's kind of why for the past couple weeks I haven't been filming. And then I'm hoping that next weekend it'll be regularly scheduled programming again. Like I said, I'm really sorry I haven't been filming. I really like the fact that you guys are subscribed. You've stayed subscribed. I hope you like this video. I'm very sorry if some of you think that this is TMI. But I just want to be real and authentic with you guys and let you know what's happening in my life and let you know that YouTubers' lives aren't perfect. I wish my life was perfect. But I think I'm going to end it here before I ramble on even more. I love you guys. Please stay safe and healthy. Cheers.